Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Pousada and I'm a petite plus size model living in New York and Los Angeles. So I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit today about my journey, how I ended up being a successful petite plus model in an industry where inclusion is, it's talked about and it's celebrated, but it's not actually enacted. They don't put their money where their mouth is. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So I started my journey, honestly, kind of ridiculously. I answered an ad on an Instagram post. It just said, do you want me a model? I'm like, sure. So I did a photo shoot for my birthday, and the deal was, if I showed up on time, then it was free. So of course I'm gonna show up on time. And then it was free. And they said, yeah, we think you could really do this. They told me to make an Instagram account separate for my modeling career. I did that, and I got reached out to by a bunch of agencies. A lot of scammers in the beginning, as you other models will definitely know. So I had to navigate that and deal with that for a number of years while I was finishing up college. And then 2021, I got signed to my first mother agency. And even though I'm not with them anymore, it was really such a blessing because, people are gonna sell you model classes, they're gonna sell you all these things online. Mother agents, a good one is gonna teach you the ropes and show you how to model, teach you all the vocabulary, teach you how to act, teach you how to walk. They're gonna do it all for free because you're the investment. Again, keyword is good. A lot don't do that. So I was still kind of navigating the world myself. Models, we're each other's best friends. We ask each other questions all the time, especially when we're coming up and being what is called developed. So when agencies say, oh, we're going to develop you, like, okay, but what are the specifics of that? They don't really give the specifics. They're going to teach you how to walk. They're going to make you a comp card. They're going to show you how to take your digis or digitals. They're going to set you up with photographers. They're going to teach you how to pose. They're going to teach you the lingo. They're going to teach you how to act. They're going to teach you how to walk, not just a general model walk, but, how do I walk for specific clients? Because your walk for a Adore Me fashion show is going to be very different than your walk for Schiaparelli, for example, or Versace. And they're going to teach you about fashion. They're going to teach you about other models to look at. And they're going to get you work and they're going to push you out. But the main job of Mother Agent is to promote you to other modeling agencies around the world. They're supposed to get you signed around the world. And they can do it like from their home, like in an apartment. They don't need an office. A lot of people want an office because it's, more professional, and it's a space for the models to come in to take digitals and come walk and meet professionally and safely with their clients or their talent. But it's not necessary for a mother agent. It's more necessary for a model agent. But still, the world is forever changing. And I got lucky because I found a mother agency that specialized in curve models. That is so important. If you are trying to go into modeling, you need to find a mother agent that specializes in your type and knows how to handle you, knows how to market you, understands your plights, your fears, your challenges. And everybody's different, so this is different for everybody. And as a short and curvy model, I had even more of the challenges. I still have more of the challenges because, runway, they're very specific about height, even though things have gotten better in certain years. Even print, I still see campaigns for hair and beauty where, the photos, they're just that. They're just that. That's it. But then they say, oh, we 5'7" and up or 167 centimeters and up. Like, why? Why? It's just this. Is a whole thing. But having an agent, you do if they're good. Again, keyword, if they're good. It is having someone in your corner to defend you and someone to push you to the correct clients who are inclusive, who are going to take you, who are going to like you. And if things don't go well on set, you know, I've had some really unsafe situations on set, and I was calling my mother agent being like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving early. It was okay, and the mother agent still got me my money because I wasn't gonna put myself in any further risk of harm. And you hear a lot of horror stories about how, my horror story was that I was working with a client one day and I got heat stroke. It wasn't just me too. Everybody on the set got heat stroke. And I ended up puking from heat stroke. Like, that was the point when I said, I'm going home. But also, there was so many other things. Like, they had me on a ledge of a building, and this building ledge was like maybe not even a foot tall. There was no fence. We were a 3-story building and wanted me to hang over the fence, the ledge in 6-inch platforms. And I was like almost falling off of the ledge. Like, that's very dangerous. I could have fallen and died. Or at the very least, been like permanently paralyzed. It was not safe. So there are still a lot of people who do that kind of thing. Hence why I do recommend getting mother agents, even if it is not what you consider to be a positive experience in the beginning. Because, you know, there are freelance models who can safely find success. You know, again, everything is an individual story in modeling. You cannot go by other people's experiences 100%. But, you know, this industry it's just so unsafe. It really is unsafe. And if you don't feel safe or like your mother agent, you can leave, you know? And there's other things you can do, but let's say you're on set with a client who's unsafe. Who do you call? Like, there's no one to call. And even if you call the police, for example, it's still very much your word versus theirs. So there's nothing usually to physically prove anything unless someone's taking recordings, but check your state's laws. Because in America and the US, whether you're allowed to legally record someone, it's different every state. I don't know about foreign countries. I'm sorry, I don't know. But, you know, for a mother agent, at the very least, they can do is hold them financially responsible. They can destroy their career to prevent other models from, you know, succumbing to the same fate. There's a whole thing. But within relation to being plus size and being short, I often get a lot of bullying, a lot of snide comments. And I also just have a harder time getting jobs because people are closed-minded. They really are. So I am more hyper-focused on who I want to work with. Rather than submit myself to everything and hope something works out, I'm narrowing my focus even more and more each year to focus on clients that I believe in, that I like, and that I resonate with. And I no longer have a mother agency because I don't need to be developed anymore. I know what I'm doing. But I do have 2 modeling agents and I love them. I'm with Wilhelmina Denver and Zebedee Talent. And, you know, Zebedee I really love because their whole thing is that they're the leading disability and visibly different modeling agency in pretty much the world. I don't know anyone else who is doing what they're doing. If you do, drop it in the comments, let me know. But I have PCOS, EOE, restless leg syndrome, ADHD, and, you know, I'm also short and curvy. So for a traditional mother agent, even if they knew how to handle the curvy side of me, they didn't know how to handle the petite side of me. And, you know, with Zebedee, I just really think they get it. They just get it. You can be the most different person out there, and they're always on your side. And I really love that. And I'm also with Wilhelmina Denver, who are also amazing and great. Like, they're great. They specialize within only Denver in Colorado, so their reach is smaller than Zebedee. Zebedee's Los Angeles and New York and Australia and London. But I really appreciate how Wilhelmina Denver has a small focus, and Denver's coming up. You know, 2 years ago, My sister, when I told her I signed with Wilhelmina Denver, she said, why? It's Denver. What's in Denver? I said, honey, first of all, there's a place for me. First of all, there is a place for me because it's mainly a commercial market. And yeah, they might not have a lot of TV film yet because I'm also an actor. But then what happened? Sundance moved to Colorado. And the tax incentives to film in Colorado are so good. You know, it's way cheaper to film there than in New York and LA right now. And there's a huge indie scene just exploding all over the country. So I knew it was gonna come up even more. And I was proven right. And, you know, I had to do my little dance because I was right. But again, you know, these are agents who have never given me any issues for being different, and they celebrate my differences and share the same vision as me, as wanting to create this industry as truly inclusive, you know? And being truly inclusive doesn't mean, oh, there's only 10 jobs, so we're only going to give these jobs to people who fit the traditional standards. It's not that, you know, the number of jobs is not staying the same, guys. The number of jobs for models is expanding ever more. It is growing every day. The number of jobs are growing. So even if we become more inclusive, the number of jobs is not going to become less by having inclusivity. It actually becomes more. Various studies have shown that within film, within TV, within modeling, the more diversity you have, the more work there is. And I do really believe that a lot of people are struggling these days as actors and models in the United States because our diversity has dwindled. And again, I know professionals who look at these numbers and statistics for a living and give that information to major movie studios like Sony and Pixar. And they have told me in person, yes, diversity makes more jobs and more profits. So I want to be a part of profit. I don't know about you. I mean, I also just want to be a part of a better human experience, which is a diverse one. So also, you know, the people I mentioned before who pitch to studios and all of that, these are also people who support me. So I really want y'all to know it is so important to find your tribe. You really need to find people who resonate with you, who believe the same things as you, and who don't take advantage of you. Because there's a lot of that in TV and film, unfortunately, too. And when you are not the normal standard of beauty, you're an even bigger target. You're an even bigger target for naysayers, too, so just ignore them and, you know, don't even follow them back on the social media. If you have to, mute, just mute them. Like, yeah. I mean, that's what I do. And also, guys, social media is a great way, I mean, we all know this, it's a great way to find that community. You know, a lot of models will put petite model in their bio or curve model in their bio. But also, you know, we all know social media is how we get jobs now. We all need a lot of followers, yada yada. But I found personally that even more importantly than the number of followers for me was the quality of my followers and the quality of the people who I follow back. You know, I'm really about the connection. I'm really about making a human connection. And people really appreciate that, you know? And, you know, something models do on social media is we make group chats like, oh, petite models. Oh, curve model group chat. You know, that's a great thing too. You know, you can ask questions like, hey, is this client good to work with? Hey, do you know which cities in Germany are most friendly to curve models? You know, things like that. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to agents on social media and ask questions. That's what they're there for. But try to make them questions more intelligent than, or I shouldn't say more intelligent, I'm sorry, that's a little mean. More advanced than how do I become a model? Because you can Google how to become a model. You can watch a video on how to become a model. You're gonna impress agents and you're gonna impress everyone else looking at your comments and your questions. If you ask, hey, what cities outside of Los Angeles and New York in the United States are great markets for curve girls, are great markets for petite models, things like that. And there's an app called Model Insider. You can check that one out. You can post anonymously or unanonymously, however you want to do it, and ask questions in there. If you are having any sort of legal issues, definitely check out the Model Alliance. They are the closest thing models have to a union. And yeah, models can't unionize in the United States, go figure. I mean, great. And while I'm on the topic of that, the AI, y'all be so careful. Make sure you read your contracts carefully. Do not let anybody sell your image and use it as AI without your permission. If you choose to have a digital doppelganger, I know some model agencies are doing that. Like they'll have the model themselves on the board, and then it's like, oh, go to our digital section, and then here's her like digital doppelganger using her image that she approved of, and they'll do that. I don't really see the point in it, because like just use the real model. I don't know, maybe like travel, I guess that might be why. I don't know, maybe you have to go to like, I think it's pronounced Guangzhou, or like, okay, you have to go to Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, and it's like an 18-hour flight, and they're like, we need something in the next 6 hours. Okay, then I guess, yeah, the digital copy thing, that makes sense, I guess, especially if the client doesn't want to pay for travel. But I'm just very not for AI models. I'm sorry, not sorry. Yeah, but also with the petite curve models, y'all, it's a thing, it's a whole thing. When you sell your image and you're one of the few Petite-Plus models in the game, it's a thing that you really got to think about. And a lot of Petite-Plus models, we really have issues finding jobs, y'all. We really do, like way more than other people. Because if they're tolerant of our height, they're not tolerant of our size. And if they're tolerant of our size, they're not tolerant of our height. And it's just this whole thing. So be careful how much access of yourself you give away. Again, quality over quantity, I truly believe is the best method on how to succeed in this industry as a Petite-Plus model. And, a lot of Petite-Plus models will do influencing and content creation as a way to supplement income, but also promote their modeling career. That's an option, it is. It's a totally valid option. I don't prefer to do that. Like, I'll do a reel here and there, but I'm not a content creator. I'm not an influencer. It doesn't bring me joy. It stresses me out, man. It really does. And it takes away from me doing the things I want to do, like auditions. I'd much rather do an audition than make content. As she ironically is making content for YouTube. Ha ha ha. No, but seriously, I also believe that, the other social medias, they change so much and so often, y'all. YouTube, I really think, is the only thing that's like stayed the same and just been unproblematic for the past 10 years. And I hear the monetization is great. And YouTube is a great way to just get free exposure of yourself out there. And they lowered the limit or the threshold for followers. The requirement, the number of follower requirement to monetize on YouTube. They lowered it. So I was like, let's do it. And then you can use that money to buy your flights, to, go to Fashion Week and do the castings there. Maybe someone will find you via your YouTube channel and see your look or see your personality and just really like you and want to work with you, and maybe they'll fly you out. There's so many different options. Point is, it can't hurt. Unless you're saying some stuff you're really not supposed to be saying. Then I can't help you, man. You need a PR manager. But also, a lot of youngins, they come in, they don't watch the YouTube videos. It drives me bonkers. They ask me questions. I'm like, y'all could have watched the YouTube videos on this. I know everybody's attention spans are shorter. Trust me, I have ADD. I got the shortest one. But there's so much information in the YouTube videos. And you know what? If it's going too slow for you, just do the 1.5 or 2 times speed. I talk kind of slow, I feel like. You want to hurry it up, go ahead, hurry up. Click the little button right now. I don't mind. I'm not offended. So, you know, this is also, again, great. I'm not the only one making a video on how to succeed as a curve model on YouTube. I'm not the only one making a video on how to succeed as a petite model on YouTube. There are others out there doing it too. Learn from us. We put it in on the public forum for everybody to see. So I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry if I got a little off track. Me, yeah, you know, love to talk. No, but seriously, thank you for tuning in. I'm not the most consistent creator, but I will try and make a video as soon as possible. So if you had any comments or critiques about this, I'm still new to it, please write them in the comments. If you have any requests on anything you would like me to make a video about, please put it in the comments, and I hope to hear from y'all soon. Thank you.